Hey everybody, I'm currently at work, but the lady that I sit with is not feeling well, so she is in the bed. But I wanted to just jump on here. I can't talk too loud because I don't want to disturb her, and even though she can't really hear without her hearing aids, she has it on, like in her ears while she's in the bed, because she feels like she's missing out on anything that happens in here, so she tries to hear everything that's going on, but I haven't been posting too often. I am currently in the process of building chicken coops, and I'm thinking that we're gonna do like the method where people use like garden mulch on the ground because it's kind of wet. But that's a slow process. Sunday night we did hang up all of my rabbit cages in the rabbit area, and I have a clip of that right here I'll share with y'all. So as you can see, I have a lot of rabbits, and about 5 or 6 cages that I have with multiple rabbits in them. Those are all babies that I had. Some of them are already like 5-6 months old. We didn't really have a good selling season for rabbits even through Easter, and now rabbits don't really move that well. There's a market for everything, and even with rabbits, there's times where you can't really sell them. And I raise pet rabbits. These are rabbits that aren't going to get more than a couple of pounds, and they're not generally something that you would process for the freezer, even though you could. I raise Netherland Dwarf, which really shouldn't get up to 3 pounds, and then Holland Lops usually shouldn't be over 4 pounds. And so there's a lot of cage space taken up. As you can see in that little clip, there's cages even in the middle of the walkway, and that is because I just didn't have room. I had purchased some cages about 2 years ago from a friend of mine when she got out of rabbits, and so I had set aside my longer, bigger cages to use her cages because I had purchased them with frames, and I used to have them hanging. So the reason why we hung the cages is because the water drips from the watering system and it rots the wood, and so we've completely avoided wooden frames and hung them back up. And so I had put some bigger cages, give the mamas more room, especially after her babies are weaned and are almost weaned and roaming around the cage. I wanted them to have extra room. So because I used a cage that's super long with bigger individual cages made into it, not all of my cages were able to be hung back up. And so we have multiple litters that are available, babies in those cages, and I have some cages that weren't able to be hung up, but they had to be in there on the watering system so that they could have water access to them. And it's just a work in progress. I'm really happy with how it looks. The ground is dry. I will be laying some tarps down underneath the cages, that way I can just drag them out and dump them to go into the garden to catch the poop. But it had been probably, over a year, possibly 2. I believe it's been about 2 years since I had got those cages and the frames, and they had been in that area, and then my husband built the roof over them while the cages were already where they were. And it took a long time to dig out, and there's still some like poop underneath the cages. Like, it just looks like regular dirt, like ground there now, because it's been so long. So all that material will be moved to my garden. There's a large pile of it just outside the rabbit area, and that has been going on. It took us from around 8:30 p.m. till 3 a.m. in the morning, almost, to get that completed. And then at the very end, before we went inside, he kind of just quickly hung the cages with some wire, even though most of them have chain holding it up. He just quickly got them off the ground so that the watering system would work properly, because it kind of works off of gravity. And so there's a little bit of tweaking that we need to do to get the cages exactly where we want them and hung with chain, but the way that it is right now will probably stay for a while just because it's good enough. So other than that, I have had some medical things going on. My son went through another round of physical therapy. He has Charcot-Marie tooth disease. That is a genetic disease abnormality that people have. We found out probably in 2021 that he has that, and I was told that I am a carrier, but I don't know if I have it because I would need like more genetic testing. I thought that I have it because I have kind of the same issues that he has with like tight tendons and ligaments and cords and things in the legs. And so this time, because he's done physical therapy multiple times, this time they worked a lot on his balance, like running from one place to the other, run, pick up a ball, run back and put it down, and he's doing really good. He actually has been working with his daddy doing brickwork, and he has gained a lot of strength. He no longer has as much weakness, but his heel cords are still super tight. Like he can't flex his toes backwards towards his leg, but he can kind of bend them down towards the sole of his feet, towards his heel, and so he's got a little bit of range of motion, but he can't pull them back because they're so tight. But he doesn't have any pain. Whenever he was growing up, he had a lot of pain. Like, we thought there were growing pains, but he would wake up in the night crying. And now we know it is because of this disease that he has. And so we've been doing that. But I was recently scrolling. I don't know if I was on, I believe I was on Facebook, and I saw a video of a lady. She had very large calves and thighs, just like I do. And so I watched the video, got, curious, what is this? Because this lady looks just like I do. I have very large thighs and calves, but not just that. My skin underneath it is very lumpy, and it's not necessarily like cellulite where it's dimples. It's more of like a bumpy kind of texture. And so this lady had lipedema, and I've done a lot of research, and it's kind of like hard pieces of fat underneath the skin. I have some nodules in my arms. I can feel them. You can't really see them. But lipedema can affect your arms, your stomach, your bottom, your thighs, your calves. I'll insert a picture here of what it can look like. You can have like cuffing. Cuffing is a sure sign that you have it. This is not lymphedema. Lymphedema is whenever you have like one limb. It could be two, but usually it's just one that kind of has swelling and fluid. But lipedema is just isn't just one. It's always both. And there's a cuff at the ankle. Your feet and your hands are like a normal size. So you'll see that cuff where your calf is bigger and it goes into like a normal foot. So I'll post that picture here. So I for sure have this. I self-diagnosed. A lot of the women in my family have this condition, and growing up we just thought that they were fat. We were fat. We looked exactly the same. I went through puberty at 8 years old. 9 years old, and not long after I noticed that my legs were getting bigger, and Then I had my first son, my first kid at 17, and I gained a lot of weight with him. And with each of my children, I kind of got a little bit bigger. I'm nowhere near where a lot of women are or could potentially be in the future, because usually with hormonal changes like puberty, pregnancy, and then menopause later on in life, people tend to get bigger who have this condition. So I went to my GP, my physician. I see a nurse practitioner. That is who I see on a regular basis if I have any needs. And I told him, I believe I have this condition. I have family history of people who look exactly like this. And I've been seeing this man for 2 or 3 years, 4 years. I even went in with what I thought was potentially a tick bite on my thigh, the back of my thigh. And I guess my skin on my thigh looked pretty normal, considering the fact that he didn't really notice that I had this condition. I mean, I wasn't completely undressed, but he has seen my legs before. And because I went in before with some knee pain, and he did for sure look at my knee. And obviously I was undressed from the waist down for him to look at my knee. But he said, if you have lipedema, it would be on your legs, more prevalent. I had wore a skirt that day, so that I wouldn't have to get fully undressed for him to see my legs. And I just got up, lifted my skirt up, and I let him see, the side of my legs and the back of my legs. And he said, you definitely have this condition. And I was requesting a referral. I wasn't really requesting a diagnosis. I was requesting a referral to a lymphatic clinic, because while it's not lymphedema, it kind of affects the same things, and that is who treats it. You can't get rid of it. You can do liposuction, but it's not the same technique. Basically, when you go in to have this removed, if you do have it removed, regular liposuction does not work, where they put the cannula in and just kind of vibrate the fat out where it breaks it up. This is harder to remove. They basically go in with something they say is basically where, like, you gently pressure wash the fat off of the wall of the body, the skin. Lipedema is a tissue disorder where it's very fibrous. The fat is like hard balls stuck in fibrous tissue. It's not smooth fat under the skin. It is like, it's very hard to remove. And even looking at the videos of how it is removed, I showed my husband and I asked him several times, are you sure you want to see how this is removed? And I showed him, and he's like, I wasn't expecting that, and you're just fine how you are, and I don't believe that you need to go through this, because if your legs hurt now, your legs will definitely hurt after this procedure. And even growing up being tickled or being touched, or like they say, if a dog jumps on your thighs, to get on your lap, and it's painful to you, that is a sign that you have lipedema, because it is just a very painful condition. You can bruise very easily. I have spider veins. A lot of people have varicose veins. And so I've gone most of my life thinking that I was just fat, and that being told that I needed to diet and exercise more, and I did all those things, and nothing has changed for me. I am a little bit overweight from obviously like eating poorly, but it's really hard to stay on track when someone's telling you you're not doing good enough. And now finding out that I have a medical condition, who a lot of women have this condition, and are undiagnosed or misdiagnosed as just being lazy and gluttonous and That's not my case. I did not expect to break down while I'm saying all this stuff, but it is something that a lot of women struggle with. And it's just unnecessary, because a lot of people say, you know, well, you don't look like you should look, or you don't look like this person. I've struggled a lot with not wearing short sleeves, not wearing shorts in public, and honestly, having this diagnosis, you would think that it would help change my view of myself, but it hasn't. I still don't want to wear shorts in public. The way that I look does not change my self-worth. I know that. I think that if enough people knew about this condition, others wouldn't be judged so harshly. So, I'm gonna try to stop crying now. The only thing that can be done about this condition is lymphatic massages. There's a lot of videos on here of how to do lymphatic massages. Compression helps. Compression garments, or I'm supposed to wear compression all day from the time that I get dressed in the morning until I get undressed for bed at night or take a shower. I don't know where my compression garments are. I have some stockings that I had bought. I don't know where they're at. I'm gonna have to buy some more so that I have some. They're probably in the laundry right now. But my kids clean up my house after me while I'm not home, and so they've probably been like putting the laundry or misplaced or something. But compression, massages. I did go to the lymphatic clinic with the referral that my nurse practitioner gave me, and the lady was very knowledgeable. She measured my legs and she showed me how to do lymphatic massages on myself, and she gave me some little exercises to do while I'm seated. Very easy. I'll go over that in another video because this one's kind of getting long. But she just did like the initial evaluation, and she confirmed that I do have lipedema. And it took about 2 weeks for my insurance to approve me. I do have Medicaid. And she said if this was 2 years ago, they wouldn't have approved me for this. This is like an unknown condition that they're just now really starting to cover equipment and therapy for this. So it's considered occupational therapy. When I go in, I did schedule my first appointment. It is in 2 days on Friday. And so there are compression pumps that kind of push the fluid starting at your feet and your hands and pushing it towards your heart. That way that your body can get rid of it. Because the tissue under the skin is so fibrous, it causes the lymph system to just not be able to drain off fluid, and then you get fluid retention. I sit a lot of the days at work here because I just sit with this lady. I do housework and I can't get up and move around, but for the most part I am just sitting in a chair with my feet down. So recently I have started sitting on the sofa sideways with my feet up on the sofa, and I really feel like that's rude, but it's really the only thing that I can do to keep from having my feet swell. They just feel so heavy at the end of the day and very painful. I'm sitting in a kitchen chair right now, and my left foot and leg is completely numb from sitting this way. She also keeps the temperature like at 80 degrees, and she says it's because she can't see, but the truth is it's because she's on blood thinner and she's like super thin and she's cold, so she puts it up And then I have to go and lower it because it's not good for her health to have it super hot in here, but she always feels cold. And the heat is really not good for someone with lipedema. And yeah, so I've just been struggling with this. I don't know if I should change my name to something else on this platform, because I don't really show y'all a whole lot of my form anymore. It's really just me and what I'm going through day to day. And I would love to post her more often, but I'm just really busy. I still work. Gosh, I still work a lot. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So 12 hours, those 4 days. Friday, I come in at 4 p.m. and I stay till Saturday at 6 p.m. So that is a 26-hour shift. So 12 times 4 plus 26. I don't know. Yeah, add that up. I can't do it in my head. The lady who works opposite of me, except for Friday morning and Sunday morning, she works a lot of hours as well. And she does sometimes come in early in the evenings. And so she comes in just randomly. So that does take a lot off of my plate whenever she can do that. She can't always do that. She literally sits with like 3 or 4 other people. And I don't know how she does it. Sometimes she doesn't even go home. She just comes straight here, straight to other jobs. And she has like no time, but she doesn't have any young kids or anything like that. And I still have 4 babies at home who are, when I first got this job, they didn't really ask me, where are you going, when are you coming home, anything like that. But now they're like, ask me, do you have to leave today? When are you coming home? Tell me that. I don't really spend a whole lot of time with them, and that really hurts. Especially right now because it's the summertime. And I used to, before this night sitter came in, this is a new lady. She's been here for maybe like 2 months. Before she came in, I was only working every other Friday. I would come in at 8 p.m. and stay till 3 p.m. on Saturday. So it was a shorter shift. But I was working on Thursday nights. And the lady that's new, she took my Thursday night. I gave it to her. She didn't just take it. I was like, please take these hours if you can. But then I changed from coming in at 8 p.m. on Fridays to 4 p.m. on Fridays. And instead of leaving at 3 p.m. on Saturday, I leave at 6 p.m. on Saturday. So the hours decreased some days and increased others. And it's just been a lot. It's been hard. And to be honest, this job is very hard because she is steadily declining. She is 97 now, and she's a worrier. She's in bed right now because a family member is having surgery, and there's nothing that she can do about it. And worrying doesn't fix the situation, but that doesn't deter her from worrying any less. So, while I'm kind of exhausted from this job, I don't know what I'm going to do whenever she's no longer here. And so, I'm trying not to cry again. That is what's been going on with me. I hope that y'all are well, and I'm going to try to post more often, but I say that every time, and I just don't, because I'm just so exhausted, and my time is just used up, and whenever she is not in the bed asleep while I'm at work, she is up, and she keeps me kind of busy, and then when I'm at home, I just want to spend time with my babies as much as possible and not be on my phone too much. So, thanks for watching this, and sorry for all the crying. And I will talk to you again later. Bye.